Hello, everyone. Well, the House passed the reconciliation bill. I expect Obama will sign it tomorrow. And we will be on the way to real health care in this country. The Republicans did their grandstanding, and that's that. But what interests me most is, and for those of you who saw Raven Gage Smith's videos and my response to him, and everybody's response to him, what interests me most is the air of violence that's surrounding this resurgence of the Democratic Party. And I don't mean the Democrats being violent, I mean the offices being broken, the gas line being cut on the brother of this one congressman. You can find links to it all over the place. But time and time again, what comes to mind is the DHS report on the possibility of violence by right-wing extremists that was initially commissioned during the Bush administration and came out. Oh, sorry, allergies, lots of pollen. Came out a few months after Obama was inaugurated. And I think we're going to see more of that. A little bit of ratcheting up of the crazy because of the healthcare vote. But, and this is assuming the Democrats actually pass the financial reform bill, which is next on their hit list. I say hit list in a good way, because that is definitely a task worth undertaking. But the problem will not be because, oh, government is taking over more and more people getting freaked out. The problem will be because government will be doing things and working, and fewer people will be freaking out. I strongly suspect that as the panic and fear and crazy recedes, those that are left in Cassie Dillville, so to speak, will feel more isolated, more helpless, and therefore be more dangerous. And again, this is assuming, I'm still thinking that there's going to be a double-dip recession. I think that the health care bill, among other things, will lead, and the fact that Obama, right on time, has gotten control of the executive branch. It usually takes a president about a year to do that. A new president about a year to do that. I think that the problems from this double dip will be ameliorated by that, and so fewer people will feel disastrous impact from it. And that's going to make those who feel disaffected and powerless and helpless before the onslaught of the communist fascist Obama to be even more freaked out. And we're going to have more incidents of violence. And what I'd like to remind everyone is that, but less and less hostility overall. I mean, it's a weird dichotomy, but it happens. And what I'd like you to consider is jot a note to yourself that if something big happens, Send a note to your Congress critter. Send a note to the president. People read these things. So the messages eventually get filtered through in one form or another, as long as enough people send a message. In the most polite and reasonable terms possible, in the sanest terms possible, express that in this atmosphere of violence, it is more important than ever for us to retain our respect for civil liberties and human rights. Essentially, what we want to avoid is repeating the mistake of the post 9/11 freakout. I think Clinton handled the Oklahoma City bombing fairly well. He handled the first bombing of the World Trade Center fairly well. And I think that Bush and Congress did a miserable job of acting like adults after 9/11, and the consequences will be with us for decades, if not centuries. But the surest thing we can do to prevent, quote unquote, the South from rising again, or some kind of massive conflict or whatever, is to encourage our elected officials to act like adults and praise them when they do so. So keep that in mind, keep that in the back of your head. If you see something horrible on the news, keep in mind that the most constructive thing you can do is to remind your elected officials to remain sane. Even your local officials, your state officials, just get across to them that there are sane people out there, and we would prefer to live our lives like sane human beings. And let the courts and law enforcement do their work without giving them tools like an even worse Patriot Act or something stupid like that. That's my only thought. I would like to congratulate the Democrats, most especially Nancy Pelosi, for pushing through this bill, making it a law, biting the bullet on reconciliation, accepting that the extremely dysfunctional Senate actually would do reconciliation, and Harry Reid for actually making it happen, but most especially Nancy Pelosi for a masterful job. And other than that, as Wagner says, don't panic. Thank you for your time and attention.